Good morning, Sterling Humanities students, and happy Friday. Apologies already for it being slightly overcast, but it's a good day to think about some greats and gripes of remote learning. Today, you're going to be working on your claim, turning your snow globe and some of the big ideas around the snow globe and perhaps a universal understanding of your snow globes into a claim. I've created a graphic organizer here for you folks to work through in order to help you develop the best claim possible. So I want to go over that with you this morning and make sure you know exactly what to do. The first thing you'll see on this graphic organizer is the claim itself, the learning target that we are familiar with. That goes from the beginning about stating details up to this target about turning your statement into a claim by supporting it with relevant reasons. From there, I've created a chart and used this to help you kind of think about creating a claim step by step. And you're going to be doing this today as your work in humanities. You'll see down the left-hand side, it talks about first step, second step, third step, fourth step. And you'll notice that those steps match the same levels in the target. Step one asks you to state some details about your topic. You'll notice here it says not to overthink it. Just state details, bulleted, partial sentences. Step two is to take that and to build off of it. And it asks you questions to consider. Step three is turning that statement into a claim. And step four is looking at some bigger ideas about your claim as well. What I've done down below is we've built one using Harry Potter. You'll see the graphic organizer remains the same on the left-hand side, and you can see how the statement evolves into a claim. That first step is talking about Harry Potter being an orphan wizard who goes to Hogwarts. You'll see there's some bulleted details, very quick stuff about Harry Potter. And then it talks about because Harry Potter being orphaned, he lives with the Dursleys who don't like him, and how that shapes part of Harry's evolution into a wizard. Then we've built off of that for the claim. And then you can see this universal kind of understanding about Harry Potter. It's got a claim, but it's got those big ideas, identity, death, all that sort of stuff that you have looked at in that list of big ideas. So remember, as you're building your claim about the greats and gripes of remote learning, you want to be thinking about a claim that really ties in the big ideas that you're going to use as part of your evidence analysis and reasoning. So if I look down here, the first step about remote learning might specifically come from some of your greats and gripes, and it might be some of those things on the inside of that snow globe, some specific details about whatever your claim is. And maybe you're going to take a claim on the side of that remote learning is great. Maybe you'll take a claim around remote learning not being great. Or maybe you'll pick a claim that remote learning is kind of a mix of both. And so in here, you might say something about remote learning is bad. And then you might just come in with some details about no friends, maybe no teacher help. And maybe we think of one more, technology issues. And then down here becomes the evolution of that. So this is where they talk about, that because thing. So it might be something in regards to because I enjoy spending so much time with my friends during the day, remote learning is bad because I can't. Do a little spell check here. Okay. And we'd see just kind of a one sentence. And then here your claim. Remote learning is hard for most students because kids in general like to spend time with friends, have access to teachers when they need help, and like doing tasks that don't involve technology. So maybe that's a claim statement I have here. You'll notice that I haven't really talked about any of the big ideas or a universal understanding from snow globes yet, because those are more of that level 4. You're going to want a couple of those if you're going to reach for that 4 on our claim. So let's take a look at what I can write here. Remote learning is challenging for a lot of students because it requires isolation, strains relationships, and requires a lot of independence and responsibility to get the work done when teachers aren't face to face. And I might have, evolve on that as I begin to think about writing that claim paragraph at the beginning. But you'll notice here, as we go through reading this 4, it says right here, isolation. And isolation is a big idea. We talk about relationships, and when we talk about straining relationships, it brings in that idea of it's challenging to stay connected to friends. We talk about this idea of independence and responsibility to get work done, which is my fancy way of wording that big idea called necessity of work, right? The work has to get done, even though there's nobody there like looking over our shoulder, forcing us to get it done. So what I've looked at is I've evolved these 3 kind of ideas from the inside of my snow globe. I've talked and tied them together with a sentence here. I've explained them with some reasons about what it means to be a middle school student and the importance of relationships and social connections. And then I've gone and looked at that list of big ideas that I've put around the snow globe and really written kind of a few sentences that ties those together. Remember, though, as you pick those big ideas, you're picking the big ideas that you're going to then write paragraphs around evidence and analysis and reasoning of. So don't just pick all the big ideas, only pick the big ideas in writing your claim statement for a 4 that you're going to be able to defend with evidence, and ones that you're really interested in analyzing further. So for today's task, you don't have to pick why the remote learning is bad. This is just something that I did as an example. You could certainly pick the benefits of remote learning. And you may find it more beneficial in terms of picking out some ideas by talking about how complicated remote learning is, because there's some good aspects and there's some challenging aspects. And that would allow you to pick some evidence and some big ideas from both snow globes, and maybe really be thinking about how the gripes and the greats fit together as part of this project. So this graphic organizer is going to be available for you to follow through on in Google Classroom, and Miss Peterson and I will be available from 12:30 to 1:30 during office hours as well. I encourage you to put some work into this, but don't challenge yourself too much. It should be a pretty simple task, especially as we've kind of been walking you down this process. So have fun with it, ask questions if you need it, and have a wonderful day.